My beloved ones, my name is Algimantas. I train spiritual teachers, future spiritual teachers, the ones that have never been trained before on the planet. I represent Creator to this planet and on this planet as His ambassador and apostle of Jesus. I took oath of loyalty to the Paradise Trinity. I am. So these are four personalities. These are four sources and centers that make up Creator, who is spiritually interunited as in absolutely one. Four personalities. And I represent them on this planet and to this planet. As well as I have mentioned before, I represent Jesus as His apostle. Actually, His spiritual status is Master Creator Son, one of the two creators and leaders of the local universe. His partner, Creator Daughter, and he, Creator Son, have created this local universe. If you look up at the sky and divide this dome into 100,000 parts, so the local universe takes up only 100,000th of the whole sky dome. So I'm His apostle and ambassador of Creator, who is the source and center of all energy to the whole of creation, and even the source and center of eternity. Right now I'm after the worship service of Creator at the living temple of the Paradise Trinity. I am. I set up this living temple 21 years ago, while I've been training spiritual teachers for some 26 to 27 years. Actually, since 1994. Now I want to give you some sort of information on Jesus' life on this planet. That is, one Master Creator Son, or at that time still Creator Son. His status was as Creator Son. He bestowed Himself upon this planet as well as upon the whole of creation, upon the whole of creation. Well, it's possible to say, but actually He bestowed Himself upon the whole of His local universe. But all this also improves spirituality of, say, His local universe, and to a certain extent the whole of creation. So now I want to reveal the side of Jesus' life that has never been mentioned before by anyone. If I ask you, was Jesus sinless while on this planet? The absolute majority would respond for certain. Yes, He was sinless. He didn't commit a single sin. I want to expand this context by trying to reveal what is sin. When you do not know something and do something wrong, which is against Creator's will, is it a sin or not? It is not. It is simply a mistake, because you cannot do anything right if you lack some knowledge how to do the thing in the right way. But if you know something and still you perform the thing in the wrong way, consciously, this becomes not a mistake, but a sin. It's for humans. Jesus, as I've mentioned before, has bestowed himself in the identity of Jesus of Nazareth as Creator's Son, one of the founders of his local universe. His divine consciousness, of course, is perfect. Well, in respect to his spiritual understanding, spiritual experience, spiritual capabilities, and spiritual cosmic insight. How he assimilates Creator's energy in a perfect way. So while being in the form of the human flesh on this planet 2,000 years ago, he was also both a human being and a divine personality. His brain was like in two parts, of two sides, of the divine side and of the human side. Before his bestowal mission, he had an encounter with Emmanuel, that is the representative of the Paradise Trinity to his local universe. And Emmanuel passed certain requests and even restrictions to this Creator Son from the Paradise Trinity, from Creator. And one of the restrictions was not to establish any religion, any religious institution, but by his religious life, following the traditions of the local people where he is going to be born, that is in Palestine, he should demonstrate by his life, by his mode of living, how to do the Father's will. But if you read the fifth epochal revelation, which is called the Rancher book, and which has been passed down to humans by spiritual authors of this revelation, the fourth part of this revelation, close to 800 pages, was devoted to the description of Jesus' life. The total number of pages of the revelation exceeds 2,000. So the description of Jesus' life on this planet 2,000 years ago has been described so consistently that you can follow Jesus' birth, then his infancy period, his childhood, adolescent years, youth period. And when you read different episodes from his life, you see that he was associating with the people who were rough in the manner of their behavior. They were fishermen, carpenters, just regular workers that used their physical force, physical power to earn for living. Of course, Jesus had to diminish his light to, in a way, use his spiritual consciousness in a much, much narrower way that would suit and match his human consciousness. That was a big challenge to him. Even while before his bestowal mission, one of the recommendations given by Emmanuel to him was, since he was Creator's Son, who had been born of the Paradise Trinity, so he's a divine personality, and his control of energy is perfect. He is from eternity. That's why he should always follow time consciously. Otherwise, being in his divine consciousness in eternity would transform energy from his idea into some object really existing in the material form. People usually always live in their consciousness following time. They're consciously feeling time sequence. They cannot imagine what is eternity. And Jesus was just on the opposite side. He was from eternity in the time mode. That's why he should have been following this consciously, time sequence. When he was associating with other people around him, say attending different functions, different feasts, where people used alcohol, they were drinking wine, and Jesus was drinking wine. So this is already a sin to the mind of Jesus' personality, because wine is alcohol, and this is against the Father's will that man would use alcohol to intoxicate himself, to calm down, to remove one's stress, because it is poison to human body, which has been designed by Creator, that every material cell would operate in peace and bliss, without any stress, without any out of the ordinary condition that has been provided by Creator for the cell. So Jesus is drinking wine is a sin to his divine mind, while for apostles and other people who were drinking wine, it is not the sin. The same act, but it should be interpreted in a different way, because the apostles and other people, local people, they are being brought up in this environment. To have wine during different feasts was a natural tradition for them. That's why they didn't know that they are making harm to their bodies. Their understanding was poor about the effect of alcohol to the body, to the material cell. For Jesus, this was a different case. His mind could have been already enlightened even by his divine understanding that it's not proper just to adjust himself to that level. Of course, he had to squeeze his light into a narrow spiritual ray. He couldn't reveal his personality, that he is a divine person at the beginning of his mission. He acknowledged the fact at the end of his mission, but that was already at the end. So he could not start teaching people about the harm of alcohol. That's why he didn't want to distinguish himself from the rest of the company. That's why he was using wine. He was performing this sin just not to be different, not to look different, and not to provoke plenty of unnecessary questions. He was consciously choosing this sort of a sin. You have to understand one very important thing. Creator is not counting like a bookkeeper amount of sins you are committing during your life. It's of no consequence. If you have sincerity, which is a quality of Creator's character, and if you are trying to avoid something, what is being a sin according to divine understanding, but you fail to achieve the ultimate result, positive result, of course, in this case, you are making efforts to this effect, but you are failing. Your will is not that strong, and Creator is the source and center of mercy. He is not punishing you, but is still enveloping you in His love vibrations. That is, in the top frequency vibrations that are filling up your brain, your material body, every cell of your material body. So Jesus made this sin, and not once, just to have a common association with common people. That was his conscious choice. And he knew this. The other thing I would like to reveal to you, that Jesus at first was proclaiming the family idea the family idea. The Jews highly cherished family relationships. For Jews, family was very important part of their living. And every Jew cared for the family. But they did not accept the idea of being a divine family. That's why the majority of Jews were expecting a Messiah's coming to take up an empty throne of the King of David, who would be the liberator of the Jew people, of the Jewish people, out of the pagans' oppression. They were expecting some warrior, a very powerful person, a very courageous personality, to liberate them from the Roman Empire yoke. That's why Jesus chose the kingdom, the metaphor of a kingdom, instead of the divine family, because it was more acceptable to the Jewish intellect, to the Jewish mind, to accept his divine message. But I consider it was his mistake. Apostles did not understand what was the difference between the kingdom they were expecting to be, in a way, re-established, and the idea of the kingdom proposed by Jesus. Jesus mentioned that this kingdom should be set up in one's heart, not on this world, in one's heart. And the king is the Father of all. But if you consider that the kingdom has its king rules his subordinates by commands. If the Father is the king, he also rules with different commands, commandments, orders. Had Jesus preserved his original idea of promoting the divine family idea, would the father of this family, even of the whole of creation, so imagine the Father issuing orders, commandments. It's very difficult to imagine such a loving Father, because the loving Father is expressing his love to his children. He is educating his children. He does his best to help them get a better understanding of reality, to understand people, not the kingdom, but the family he is the father of. And even the resurrection after this material life would also be the continuation of the same divine family with the same Father. There is no kingdom anymore. The Jews are expecting a deliverer, the Messiah, for this world, for this Jewish life, not the life beyond this planet, beyond this world. So that's why the family, the divine family idea, actually it is impossible to distort the way, starting with the apostles who didn't understand Jesus' message, distorted his idea about the kingdom to be set in one's heart. That this kingdom is for the pagans and for the Jews. Jews did not associate with the pagans the way they associated with the Jews. They did not consider pagans equal to them, equal to Jews. So that's why to accept pagans as equals, it was too bright the idea for ordinary Jews, and especially for the Pharisees, who were in a way imposing their political, religious understanding on ordinary people, on regular people. But if the idea of the family had been continued, so of course little by little this seed would go deeper into the subconsciousness of people, and the fragment of this very same father, thought adjuster, who would inhabit some of the minds of humans, including the Jews, would also support this idea of the family, would support this invigorating truth, light. And it would be much more difficult to distort the family idea. And that's why the Apostle Paul set up Christianity. And that was already the distortion of Jesus' idea that the Father is at the top of the kingdom, but the kingdom is for all, including the pagans. Paul has narrowed this idea to just a religion of Christians, religion of Christianity was promoted by Peter as well, but especially by Paul. And he included his own personal understanding of God, the Jewish understanding of God, and the Greek philosopher Philon, religious understanding, and he fused all these ideas into his own Christianity. But at the beginning they were using the same synagogues with Jews, the same rituals, the same prayers. And that was already not the religion of Jesus. The Father is one for all. But the religion about Jesus, and it's a different thing. Jesus' religion is the religion I'm continuing now after 2,000 years ago, as I've established the living temple of Creator, where there are no rituals, no any visual action, but just opening one's heart to Creator. And when I present my spiritual teachings during the living service, I always point out that you should open up to Creator ever deeper and even more. Discover Creator within your heart. And once you discover Creator, real, true, living Creator, you shall know you have discovered Him. And just lean upon His leading. He has planned everything for you, even within eternity. You just need to feel His leading you from within. That's the most important thing. And all this is living. This is coming through experience, through keeping ever deeper and sincere communion with Creator. And I'm teaching all these things human beings. The fact that Paul distorted Jesus' idea, well, let's put it, Jesus' gospel. Father is one for all, and all children are brethren. So Paul has changed it by establishing Christianity, that only the members of the Christian church are brethren. And Jesus, who has been offered as an atonement by the Father for the sins of humans, He actually resurrected, set up this church, and He is the chief priest of the church. That has never been like this. It's already a distortion of Jesus' idea and the establishment of a human evolutionary religion. What I am continuing now, Jesus' religion, is not evolutionary. It's a revelatory religion. Revelatory. That is passed by Creator down to all of us. That's why there are no rituals. All religions on the planet are evolutionary rituals. They have different sources and different rituals. While what I'm promoting is just opening to Creator, and all humanity will come to this religion when spiritual teachers reveal this, what I'm telling you right now. I have spoken out my own gospel. Creator is living, He is real, and it is possible to discover Him within. And once you discover, right away Jesus' gospel becomes implemented, because you begin to feel that Creator is one for all, and all people are brethren, and even more, all souls and spirits are also our brethren on every world, on every universe, and even through throughout the whole of creation. So that's why my gospel is crucial to make divine light living on this planet as has been designed by Creator, by His evolutionary plan, both to the whole of creation, including our planet. Our planet has no exception, but to follow Creator at first, having discovered Him within, and then feeling this discovery and consecrating one's life to Creator. Creator should become your living water and your living bread. No other source can replace Him. Nobody else might be worshipped instead of Him. Just a living Creator, a living source and center of everything, of the eternal values: love, mercy, goodness, justice, truth, wisdom, cosmic insight, all energy. Everything comes out of Creator. Only His myriads of children transforming His energy into different forms that suit certain segments of the whole of creation for embettering of the local life, so that it would be always shining ever brighter as the reflection and image of Creator Himself. And our planet has to do it the same. We have no any other way. There is just one way, one, and the only one, the evolutionary way, to leave better environment to new generations as against the environment we have received from the generation of the past. That's why I'm on this planet, to show the road, which is within you. And all the mess that is developing, or actually it's not developing, it's degrading people's mind, shall be stopped by me and Creator. Because I follow Creator the way He's leading me from within. That's why I know what I'm telling you. I know all this from Creator and from Jesus, as I associate with Creator and Jesus, and I receive teachings from Creator and Jesus. Amen.